All right, it's time for the next book on the Filling Up My Shelves series. This is MG Gallows, rather, Death Dealers, Alex Foster, Necromancer. It looks like it's book one. So let's talk a little bit about the cover. It's a traditional kind of wrapped cover, which you see on a lot of the urban fantasy books. It's interesting though. You got to look a little closely. First I see we've got this nice red what looks like wound or target on our hero's chest. I'm guessing it's our hero. But what you may or may not pick up on the video is there are some skulls and some looks like some Dia de los Muertos paint here on someone's face in the shadows. So that's pretty neat. I always like it. Another monster over here. Another looks like a zombie or a skeleton. I like that. I always love it when I can pick out little details in the cover. It looks like I got some flowers here. So yeah, it's cool. Call me old-fashioned, but I like to look at a cover and see little things, little details. So let's dive in. Let's take a look at reading the blurb, shall we? Don't dawdle, Alex. My keepers and I will be searching for that body. If we find it, you'll know. Sheriff Agnew put a fist over his chest and splayed out his fingers. Boom. A year after a nasty breakup and a big move, Alex Foster feels like he's finally getting his life together. Then he gets framed for murder, and the Rimbault Society, mages who secretly run the world, drag him before North America's archmage. The only thing that stalls Alex's execution is the same evidence that could damn him, when the victim's body walks out of the morgue and disappears. Reviled for his death magic, Alex knows he'll have to prove his own innocence. But the mundane, the magical, the living, and the dead are on his case. A beautiful stranger knows who the real culprit could be, but can Alex trust her to have his back? With time running out, Alex discovers a sinister plot to use arcane drugs to harvest the city's addicts. He'll have to embrace everything that makes him a monster in the eyes of the law before a hex on his heart burns him to ash. Okay, well, now I know what this red mark is. Very cool. I like the intro. I like the blurb. It definitely got my attention. And like I said, I'm a sucker for all these little hints in the cover. So what do you say? Why don't we jump in and read the first chapter here? All right. I always read the dedications for Miles, Ellen, and Paula, who helped make this real. Okay, so let's get started. I was on my way to fetch a corpse. It would mean a late night on a work day, but I needed the money, and the Gallows needed the meat. Besides, Peter said that the job wasn't far from Howard's, a condemned hospital I'd chased some ghost hunters out of earlier that night. Barring sleep, I'd have it bagged and ready for delivery with enough time to shower, pick up the frat boys, and make it to the church on time. Still, I took a cautious route, avoiding the highways and their frequent police patrols. It meant crossing old residential neighborhoods, ragged homes with patchy lawns, tall trees, and cracked concrete driveways. I passed the occasional driver, but the crowds of costumed trick-or-treaters had gone to bed hours ago. The city felt like it was asleep. Sampson and Pine Street was an industrial park which dominated the southwest end of the city. Most of the factories processed food, fish sticks, fruit cups, milk products, that kind of thing. So the chill October air smelled a little sour. West Side Noodles was one door down from the street corner. A sun-bleached poster in the window, flanked by a pair of construction paper jack-o'-lanterns, declared it was open all night. The interior had a small dining area with a few occupied tables. A hot meal was hard to find in the dead of night. No one glanced my way as I approached the counter. An older Asian man poked his head out of the window. "What would you like?" I scanned the menu. "Wontons and a coffee." "Who's it for?" I dug a crumpled $5 out of my wallet and handed it over. "Robert." "Be right back," he said. I watched through the serving hatch as he put a few wontons in the bottom of a styrofoam cup, ladled hot broth over it, and poured me a cup of the world's saddest looking coffee maker. He'd written Robert on both in green. All right. First off, I just want to mention, I absolutely love that opening sentence. I was on my way to fetch a corpse. That's great. That's a great way to open up a book. Really got me, got my engine going. Makes me want to see what happens. Okay, guys, you know the drill. The links will be below if you want to go check it out. By all means, I'm sure it's available in both ebook and paperback. So good luck and happy reading.